Today I have the most incredible guest. I was just sharing the broadcasting to all the right places. I'm just checking to see if my guest is here. I've just invited him in. Just give me 1 second. Guest, Mr. David Hyner. David is a full-time award-winning speaker. He speaks to 10 to 50,000 people a year. David, welcome to Brilliance Speaker. Thank you for being with us today.
My pleasure, Mark. How are you?
I'm really well, thank you. All is good here.
Excellent.
So I'm going to get into our first question, David. My first question is, can you share your story and into public speaking?
Wow. Okay. I'll give you a condensed version. You're probably having a chat with one of the few people who never intended in the first place to become a speaker. I was actually terrified of doing presentations and would have been physically sick with nerves at the thought of having to stand up and give talks. I pretended to be an extrovert, but it was all about just seeking acceptance. I had a little catering business in Birmingham in the UK where I was doing okay, but was wanting more out of life, more success, more everything. And because I was afraid of education, not being that good at school, I decided to ask my customers how they became successful. So these people were millionaires, entrepreneurs, captains of industry, world champions of sport, local football club managers. And what they told me, Mark, was revolutionary because everything's simple. Everything was hard work, but not hard to do, if that makes sense. It was all easy stuff, just a lot of it to do. But they were normal people. They weren't using big words, complicated processes and systems. They just thought and behaved differently to everybody else. And the biggest thing I learned, Mark, was that they did not set smart goals. And they set massive goals. And when I learned how they do that, it changed my life. And when I started to achieve things for myself personally and professionally, people started saying, well, what's going on here, Dave? What's the difference in you? Will you come and share it with me, my team, my school, my sales club, my church, my Rotary club? I was going, no, I'm not a speaker. No. And then one day a charity said that, they'd paid me for my talk. And I went, what? What? You mean I could earn a living helping people? And on the back of that, I have become a professional speaker. And it's now, thank you for my introduction, by the way, it's now my privilege to speak to between 10,000 and 50,000 people every single year all over the world.
Well, I've been lucky enough to see you speak a couple of times, David. I come into a school and helped you not long ago as well. And I must say, the way you deliver your speech, the way you are with younger people as well, I really have to really hold my hands up and say you are a phenomenal speaker. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. You really do inspire me with your speaking. So you're doing great. You're doing a great job. So let me come on to my next question, which you've chatted about a little bit already. I came and seen you at a goal setting workshop. Can you tell everyone about setting big, fat, hairy goals? Let people know what it's all about.
Yeah, certainly. Okay. So when I interview all these successful people, and bearing in mind, after now 21 years, I've interviewed 253 top achievers from all walks of life all over the world. I'm now a researcher, trying to find out what it is they do, how they think and behave. Two words are never used by top achievers that are always used when they teach normal people like us: goal setting. And
Is it
one word is realistic, and the other word is achievable. So most people here have heard the acronym SMART, and in which are the words realistic and achievable. You see, I'm skeptical because if all the top achievers are saying I set massive goals, and yet we're all being taught realistic and achievable, to me that's like, something's not right here. So I tracked down the creator of the acronym SMART Goals to see what credibility it had. And despite the fact that SMART goals are being taught in virtually every business school on the planet, being taught on the MBA, virtually every business management training course any of us ever go on, it's in every goal setting book, it's on every seminar, every speaker, every video you've ever seen on goal setting, or reference SMART goals. If that is true, Mark, have a guess out of 253 top achievers, asking them the specific question, how do you set goals? How many of them do you think answered by saying, ooh, I set realistic and achievable goals? Not one of them. Zero. Nada. Not one of these top achievers I set SMART goals. So who's got it right? Who's got it right? And when I tracked down the person who invented SMART, that person was misquoted. His name was George T. Duran, and he was a project manager who worked on multi-billion-dollar water utility projects in America. And he's quoted as saying, your goal should be SMART. I've not found one quote of him saying that. I've found several saying, get this, when working on really big projects, the steps to your goal should be SMART. That's different. That's different. Even the creator of SMART goals never set SMART goals. So why are we teaching it our kids in schools? Why is it being taught in chief executive peer groups? Why is it being taught at conferences to sales teams, business leaders? It just makes no sense anymore. Also, here's a kicker, Mark. Can you name anything of man or womankind's greatest ever achievements even would have happened if they'd have set SMART goals?
Definitely not. You have to go big and aim for high.
So that's where massive goals comes from. And once I started applying this simple process of setting a big goal and breaking it down into little steps, and it's like children's playground joke, Mark. How do you eat the elephant? One bite at a time. Once you start breaking down a colossal goal into little bitty steps, all of a sudden you look at every step and you go, it's realistic and achievable. Yeah, the goal is massive, but the steps are realistic and achievable. So we created this little system, the process that helps people to plan their realistic and achievable steps to a massive goal. And people using our stuff, Mark, have already gone on to be British, European and world sporting champions, Amazon #1 authors, millionaires. We've had 2 high school students become millionaires before they left education. And I could go on and on and on with students getting mentored by Barack Obama, amongst other mega stars. The question is it's a choice. It's a choice. We choose not to for fear of failing or succeeding in some cases, but we can also choose to have a go. Most people, it comes down to fear. That's it.
Well, fear holds a lot of people back, David, doesn't it? But it's how you control it. And it's like you say, a lot of people see a big mountain in front of them when really you should be just aiming to take step by step by step. And when I watched your workshop, the way you did the pyramid, that was just phenomenal, David. It really just made so much sense. I was taking so many notes.
Well, as one of our fellow speaker friends, Nigel Rizza, used to say, I don't know if he still does, I'd rather you take notice than take notes. The problem with most training and development is that people fill their head with knowledge and skills and then don't go and apply it. I saw a post on social media recently, what's the latest great book you've read? And I had to write a cheeky post back saying, stop reading books until you've applied stuff from the last book you read. There's too much acquisition of knowledge and not enough application of it.
I've seen that post actually, David. It made a lot of sense.
I
We
absolutely
have
kid.
Chris. We have Christine Marsh saying what a treat to get David Hyner live to start the week. So thank
Oh,
you, Christine. Please show
God bless you,
David some
Christine.
love. He's sharing all his wisdom today, and feel free to share the broadcast. David, that brings me on to the next question, which is speaking can be a hard industry, especially when you're first starting out. Have you got some tips for speaking success?
Certainly. Well, it's interesting you've got some speakers listening to this right now. Coyote's come on. James, hi James, and Christine are all speakers. Coyote, now there's a speaker to watch for the future as well. So, tips for becoming a professional speaker, and I draw the distinction between being a public speaker and a professional speaker, and there's nothing wrong with either. But a public speaker is someone who just speaks in public, doesn't necessarily earn part or whole of their living from it. A professional speaker is someone who does earn part or whole of their living from presenting. And hi, Callum, welcome to the video. And the top tips I could give. Now, I've got to be careful when I say this, Mark, because I can give people advice with the best will in the world. I can only give them advice from my perspective. So if anybody says I need a mentor on anything in life or training course, I would say find somebody who presents like you do. Find somebody who has the skill set you need, but delivers it in a way that's congruent with who you are. Because that way you're going to get good advice. If all you do is only just go to lots of people who are generalists or people who may be really successful, but they're very different to you as a person, they could give you terrible advice that would work for you. So I can't give anybody any advice about how to promote yourself using the telephone, because I'm terrible at selling on the telephone. Does that make sense?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So my top tips, things that have worked for me, are number one, do your research in two ways. Number one, do your research on your subject until you have understood it as a level that you are really looking forward to being challenged and being asked questions, because you already know the answers, or at least most of them. Because if you're afraid of being asked questions, that immediately flags up to me that you shouldn't be on the stage speaking about that subject. The second bit of research you need to do is to actually do the thing very, very few speakers and trainers ever do, which is go and research your target market, your audience, and see if they want and will pay for what it is you want to do. There are so many really good quality speakers around at the moment who are struggling to get work because they invested thousands of pounds worth of time and hours of their life creating the keynote, the website, writing the book, getting the branding, the business cards, great photograph, head and shoulders, videos, and all the rest of it, and then wonder why they've got no income. It's because it's all very well you having a great talk on making pens, but if no one will pay you for a talk on making pens, you're screwed. So do the research on your subject and do the research on your marketplace. That's number one. The second thing is you have got to love your subject so much that you can't wait to present it. Yes, you're going to get paid, but by God, I'd speak for free if I had an income. I would. You must be so obsessed with wanting to share it with people. Hi, Brian. Hi, Edward. You've got to want to share it. You've got to want to make a difference and deliver it. If it really excites you, it's no good you being scared on stage. That's not serving the audience. It's you've got to show how excited you are, what a difference it's made in your life. So number one is do your research. Number two is be passionate, show your passion. That's what's worked for me. The third thing I've already alluded to, which is do not go to seek applause or to get paid. Now, that's a bit weird if you want to be a professional speaker. You will get applause, you will get paid if you truly serve your audience. If you stand in front of an audience and your desire is the spotlight, the standing ovation, the 10 out of 10 on your evaluation tick sheet, then that's ego. You're doing it for you. And in some capacity, all of us, self included, do it for acceptance and to be liked. At all levels, some of us do that. But the speaker or the trainer or the coach that is there 100% to serve the audience, truly serve, they will get a reputation as caring and professional. The people who've researched it, passionate about their subject, and deliver first through service to the audience, get the best results that I have seen. I'm really open for other people to say different. But everywhere I've gone in the world, those that go to serve get the results. People get the results, Mark, get the money. Because that's what customers want. They want money. They want a return on their investment.
I've got to say, David, there's some amazing tips there, as in getting the right mentor, some great tips there, definitely about serving the audience, just some real great tips. So please show David some heart. Now, you have got a speaking skills workshop on the 2nd of July. Can you tell the audience about that?
Yes, 2nd of July in 2018, as is this year, so we don't date the video. 2nd of July in Birmingham in the UK, I've got a one-day masterclass on how to present with impact to groups of any age, because I speak to chief executives, corporate audiences, and students in high schools. So we've already got about 16 people booked on. It's going to be a great day, and it's cheap as chips. So get in touch with me or search for it on Eventbrite, and you'll find it.
Also, Dave, and I'd recommend everyone go to these classes because David really does know what he's talking about. Also, David, you've got an Udemy video course. Can you share a little bit about that too?
Yeah, well, again, that's another tip for speakers and trainers, Mark, which is make sure you've got some content that you can use as an upsell after you've spoken to your clients. So it serves in two ways. One, potentially you can get a bit of extra income, or secondly, you can give it as a free resource after you've delivered. That puts your value up there compared to most speakers who just rock up to a keynote and go again. So I charge as much, if not a fraction more than other people in certain areas of industry. And when they say, how do you justify the fee? I say, well, every single delegate leaves with £50 to £100 worth of audio and video resources. That puts you up there, and your fees, great value for money all of a sudden. So I've got, for example, 5 video courses on Udemy or Udemy or whichever way they pronounce it, udemy.com. I've got 5 video courses. They're cheap as chips. And you build a database. I've got 31,000 students all over the world on Udemy, which you can then, of course, promote other things too. So it's well worth doing.
So, Dave, would you share the links in comments as well once you've got a chance to do that, so people can check out your presentations workshop and your video course too? My next question is, what are you working on right now? What's new for David?
Well, that's interesting. I have just been given a contract to work in schools, which will almost double my turnover. So I'm going to be very, very busy presenting in the education sector over the next 12 to 14 months. And in addition to that, I've got a publishing company that publishes training videos and also does Kindle ebooks as well. And we're really ramping that up this year. So I'm a busy bunny, Mark, a busy bunny.
So there's always something going down for David.
There is. And by the way, are you aware you've got a legend listening to this right now? You've got Cash Gill, 4-time world kickboxing champion, who's just logged onto your call. Hi, Cash. Hope you're all right, mate.
Also, Christine says Drat will be working in Krakow. So when the next one goes, you can.
Yeah, that'll teach you for being effective and successful in your sales and marketing, eh, Christine?
Well, David, I've thoroughly enjoyed interviewing you today. Lastly,
My
can you let the
pleasure.
audience know how people can connect with you, follow you?
Yeah, sure. I'm on all the big platforms: Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. If anybody's loved this, please give me a LinkedIn reference because that gets me work as well. References on LinkedIn. Um, if you just put my name in Google, I'll be over it like a rash you don't want to speak to your doctor about. Or failing that, you can send me an email, get in touch. I'm very easy to find. Just put my name in, Hyner. Easy.
Everyone connect with David. He's an amazing guy, great school speaker, great corporate speaker, award-winning speaker. I really appreciate your time, David. You're always so giving, so thank you for that. Thank you for being on Brilliant Speaker.
My pleasure, Mark. Have a great day. God bless you all, everyone. See you soon. Be awesome.
Take care,
Massive. God bless.
everyone. Bye. Bye.